So I did a quarterback pyramid on the show, on the TV show. People got very mad about it because this is what I said. I said I am not putting the rookies on the pyramid because they haven't played yet. I don't want to. I want to see them play before I put them on the pyramid. And then we got to the top few rows of the pyramid, and of course Mahomes is at the top. The second row is Burrow and the Prince, and then the third row, smack dab between Jalen Hurts and Josh Allen, is Caleb Williams. So the producers ask, what has Williams done to be ahead of Josh Allen and Justin Herbert and Lamar? Well, he's not ahead of Josh Allen. Again, these pyramids or tiers, they're not left to right. They are top to bottom. He is on the same row as Josh Allen and Jalen Hurts, but the only quarterbacks ahead of him are Mahomes, Burrow, and the Prince. And the answer is, what hasn't Caleb Williams done? Caleb Williams stepped onto a college football field as a freshman at Oklahoma, and what did he do? Down 28-7 against Texas in the biggest rivalry game in the country, or at least one of them, leads them on a comeback, is excellent the rest of that year, then transfers to USC and wins the Heisman Trophy. In his college career, he had 69 touchdowns and 9 picks. He plays a Mahomesian style with, by the way, the same height and weight as Mahomes, a lot of the same flair, some of the same toughness. The kid is as can't miss gets. Now, is Wright and is saying this moment, he's one of the 6 best quarterbacks alive, maybe, potentially, a touch hyperbolic, sure. But I am as certain of him as I was of Trevor Lawrence. I wasn't certain of Mahomes. If we're being totally honest, my record on that, I wanted the Chiefs to draft Deshaun Watson. Because I was very confident in Deshaun Watson. But Trevor Lawrence was the most no-doubt prospect, no questions asked prospect we had in a decade. Caleb Williams, now it's only been a few years, is the most no-doubt prospect since Trevor. I thought Trevor was a better prospect than Joe Burrow, and listen, Burrow's been unbelievable. I think Caleb's a better prospect than Joe Burrow. And his ability to play through pain, his ability to make off-platform throws, his creativity. We are now living in an NFL universe that revolves around Patrick Mahomes. And if you are trying to win a championship, you have to ask yourself a question. Can my quarterback go toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and at least 1 in 3 times get a win? Burrow has answered that question as yes. Josh Allen in the regular season, to his credit, has answered the question as yes. Jalen Hurts showed you in the Super Bowl. The answer to that might be yes. I don't know that that's true for Justin Herbert. I don't know that that's true for Lamar. I know that isn't true with any of the other guys. I believe it will be true with Caleb Williams. I believe he is a superstar. And if you are not a fan of one of the 5 or 6 best teams in the league this year, you know which team would probably be the most fun to be a fan of this season? The Arizona Cardinals. Because you get to watch every Cardinal game, rooting for them to lose, which they will, most of them. If somehow they end up winning some of those games, you then get to watch the Texans games, rooting for them to lose because they have the Texans pick as well. And if you're the Cardinals, a team that seemed to have just be in total and utter disarray, you are about to be in a position where you should have next year the number 1 pick of the draft, which you will use on Caleb Williams. the number 4 or 5 pick of the draft from Houston, which you can trade if you'd like for probably a mid-first round pick and future picks, and Kyler, who you can trade for almost assuredly at least a first round pick and then something. The Cardinals get to start totally over with a transcendent quarterback if they're as bad as I think they're going to be. Now, there's another team we're going to talk about later that I think should have taken that tact this year. They opted against it. I think they're going to regret it. But there's a team that Caleb would have been a perfect fit for that could have opted to get into the Caleb Williams sweepstakes. They're not doing it, though. We'll talk about them at the top of the B block, actually. The producers also said, aren't you doing to Caleb what everyone else did to Wemby? So, on the TV show, they asked me this as well. No. What I am saying about Caleb Williams is I believe he will be a well above average number 1 overall pick. That would be a fair expectation for Wemby. If I were saying right now that Caleb Williams by year 3 is going to be league MVP and the best player in the sport, and as the way Wemby was discussed was that if Wemby turns into Tim Duncan, it's a bit of a disappointment. That, if I were to say right now, if all Caleb Williams ends up being is Aaron Rodgers, he's a disappointment, that would be unfair. I am not putting Wemby level expectations on Caleb. I am putting Zion level expectations on Caleb when Zion was coming into the league, and those are fair. The guy's a superstar. And anybody wanting to say the whole, well then why wasn't USC better last year? First of all, USC was damn good last year. Second of all, and maybe more importantly, you can't overcome horrific defenses in college football at the quarterback position. That's why Patrick Mahomes, as a starter in college, what did he have a losing record? What was Texas Tech's record in 2015 and 2016? I know it wasn't overwhelming. I think he was 7-5 and maybe 7-6. Caleb, I am as certain on Caleb as I've been on anybody. That's why I had him on the pyramid. Hey, thanks for watching. Hit the subscribe button to get more from the show, and make sure to click the bell to get notified every time new content drops. Check out full episodes of What's Right wherever you get your podcasts, or just click the link in the description below.